with nobody, baby. Light me up, pour me up, I'm gone. Got me seeing genies in a bottle. Liquor got me feeling like a wrestler, call me Santiago. Everyone listen when I speak. Don't know shit about shit, but I know ball.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Two Nobodies with the Mic, episode 133. Another beautiful Wednesday night. Guys, we are live on YouTube, live on Instagram. We are the gambling show of record. We have a ton to talk about, some great hockey. You just saw the Knicks game. That was one of the better NBA games I've ever seen. But we all know the rule. Only one rule. Eddie Money, tell him the rule.
Don't be a loser.
Don't be a loser, man. And I know a lot of people lost a lot of money on some bets tonight. What we're talking about is play responsible. Don't be a jackass. But so much to get into. Golf games are improving by the day. But Eddie Money, how you doing, man? Executive producer in the house.
What's up? Got finals week. Just got to get through one week of school, and it's off to Puerto Rico.
Yee! That's awesome, man. Where are you staying?
Airbnb.
San Juan?
I don't know. They just told me we got Airbnb. I sent the money. I didn't organize it. I just know we're going somewhere.
You're just going to Puerto Rico. You don't know.
I'm going to Puerto Rico.
It's not a dick fest, is it? Eddie Money?
You can't bring him to Puerto Rico.
But I'm just saying, is it a dick fest?
We're recruiting out there. Come on, Rafa.
How many dicks are going to this fucking fiasco?
Like 6.
Oh, that's a
6
whole
dicks.
lot. 6 dicks.
6 dicks. Sounds like a country band.
Uh-oh.
Six dicks in Puerto Rico.
Let's hope you find something.
Listen, you're not gonna find any more beautiful women than in Puerto Rico, man. And listen, the vibe. You're gonna walk into a bodega and the fucking vibe there. You're gonna walk into a random spot. The music, the people, the vibe. You're gonna love it. Food's all not that great. Bring money because it ain't as cheap as you think it is.
Damn.
And when you drive, it's like no holds barred. Like lights barely mean anything. The potholes are humongous. There's random chickens crossing the road. That joke had to be fucking made
Eddie,
out.
Did you go to Puerto Rico or Jamaica?
Is that how I've never been to Jamaica.
That's how Jamaica was. Jamaica was wild. Like, dude, driving in Jamaica was insane. Like, dude, the cab drivers, bro.
Oh yeah,
it was nuts.
Like you go. Like it's nothing like here. But listen, go to the casinos are badass. Oh yeah, I could talk about it forever. But anyways, Rafa, the guru's in the house, sees it all, knows it all. Breaking 80. He's shooting in the 80s, y'all. In the 80s, y'all.
Not every time. Not every time.
It don't matter, man.
You did it once. If you did it once, you did it
a couple times. I've done it.
There you go. There you go. You're doing
Rafa the Guru is in the house. Thank you, Rafa, for blessing us again. 5 days in a row, Rafa. 5 days in a row you've played.
5 days in a row. I'm fucking exhausted.
Can we go for 6, man? Get some rest tonight.
Dude.
Get some rest tonight. I'll be off. I'm just saying. Anyways,
Jackie
guys.
Jackie might kill me. We'll figure it out before the show's over, though.
Okay, we'll figure it out.
We'll see what happens.
But yeah, plenty to talk about. Gonna have a great time. We are the gambling show of record, guys. You have questions for the guru. You have questions about Eddie Money and powerlifting. He's your fucking guy. You have questions about finals and engineering. Also ask Eddie Money. Skin Tone's not in the house tonight?
Not tonight.
Okay, so
also finals week for that guy.
Well, yeah, we saved 15 minutes on introductions.
But guys, please,
CJ's like introducing Ric Flair.
Yes. Woo!
Fuck, man.
Woo! Guys, interactive show. Let us know how you feel. Talk your shit. You know, we love to hear questions, talking shit. Let's make this fun tonight. Let's have a good time. I got some a Chardonnay in the house. So we're gonna have a good time, man. Let's get into our first segment. Every show for 133 shows, it's called You're Fired. Every week we fire or hire someone. There's plenty of hirings and firings to be made. Who wants to kick off? You are fired this wonderful Wednesday evening.
I'll go first. I want to fire Mikel Arteta, the manager of the Arsenal Gunners, for coming out today after they lost their second leg. Guess they also lost the first leg at home, saying the best team in the Champions League is out. The fuck you are. You weren't the best team. You lost 2 games. You lost the first game at home, and then you lost today in Paris. So the final is PSG and Inter Milan. Phenomenal. Inter, like we could argue that Barca has been the best team for the last 5 months, 6 months.
Yeah.
Argue that. But Inter beat them, and Inter had a 2-0 lead the first game, that a 2-0 lead. The second game, questionable calls in that second game. There might have been I thought there should have been a penalty in the first half in Barca's favor. But Barca, anyways, no excuse. They took the lead in the second half, 3-2, give up that late beauty to Inter, and then Inter wins it in extra time. So if you were the manager of Barcelona, you can maybe believe it. But when you're the manager of Barcelona, there's too much class that goes to be the manager of Barcelona or Madrid or Manchester City or Inter Milan. So Mikel Arteta, bullshit move on your part. It's disrespectful to disrespect PSG like that because they beat you twice. They didn't beat you once. They beat you twice. 2 times.
The thing is, I have a good friend that Kevin English, Arsenal, hardcore. I've known him for 20 years. Dude, his name is Kevin English. He's an Englishman. Great fucking accent. Just a wild man. Arsenal tattoo. He equivocated them to the Raiders. He's like, great tradition, right? When you hear Arsenal, it's a premier. It's one of those cowboy.
I would say I'd compare them more to the Cowboys than I would to the Raiders.
Yeah. But they just haven't won in forever. And I think the expectations this year for Arsenal were very high.
Right. But his comparison to the Raiders don't have those expectations. Like every year going into the season, you can argue the Niners because although they haven't won a title since actually right around when the Cowboys won a title, but the Niners have those expectations. They've been to Super Bowls, right? So they've been to NFC playoff, NFC title games, etc. The Raiders haven't done that. So bad comparison for your buddy Kevin English. Just so we bash on the Raiders we're out the gate.
We're going to Myrtle Beach at the end of May, and he's like, just so you know, like if the Arsenal had made it, he said he was pulling out of the trip. He'll bite the bullet because he was gonna go to the finals and make it somehow. Or like I go, and I told him back, I go, you have about as much chance as that as I have to go to Jupiter right after the fucking Raiders win the Super Bowl.
Oh, that's brutal because they were favored to win this. To win this semifinal, and they did not, but they were favored to win the semifinal. But anyways, to me, it's a bad look that after you win, it's like if Luka or LeBron or JJ Redick came out after losing in the first round, and I know they lost in the semifinal, but still, if you came out and said, "Oh, well, the best team's out of the playoffs," the fuck you were. So I'm sorry, but you were not, and it to me is a bad look.
Ultimate scoreboard, man. Ultimate scoreboard.
Yeah.
Eddie Money, you got any firings or hirings? Firing approved.
I got a hiring actually. I'm gonna hire the Utah Mammoth.
Mammoth.
They showed their logo and their brand, like how their jersey gonna look. I think it looks awesome. Great color scheme. The logo is like a mammoth with some mountains on top. Looks great. I think it's a fan favorite. I think other teams or other people from other sports also started to like it because they posted on ESPN. And even my buddy called me. He was like, dude, I don't watch hockey, but I might need a hockey jersey of this because this shit's pretty nice. Great color scheme, great logo. Great well done.
I can't wait to see it. That came out today, right? It is the Mammoth, not the Mammoth. Listen, I was pulling for Yeti. I guess that wasn't going to happen. I guess it was a conflict of interest. A lot of people like the Utah Hockey Club. A lot of people wanted to keep that. But Mammoth, pretty freaking cool. You know, that it's kind of crazy with expansion hockey teams, you know, especially in really hungry cities. They seem to do better, you know, than other expansion teams like basketball and baseball. I
Well,
don't know
look,
what it is.
Utah wasn't a full expansion team. They just moved
Yeah.
the Arizona. They just moved the Arizona.
That's
team.
right.
Not
That's
like
right.
the Vegas team. The Golden Knights were full
Mhm.
expansion. By the way, what a game!
You're right.
last night, by the way, in that series.
That was a terrific game. You could see Connor McDavid he looks different on the ice. Does he not, Rafa? Like
He's so good.
the way he moves,
He's
it's
so
just
good.
it's so fun to watch. The skill level is just out of this world. And
Yeah, he's
that
phenomenal.
was a great game. I know Vegas is, you know, it's game one, man. This we've seen. The thing with Edmonton now is that they're so used to being down, they have the confidence to like never be out of a game at this point. You know, especially
And
when
they're
you
back
have,
at full strength. Like Evander Kane came
Yeah.
back, you know, the last
Yeah.
series, and he's fucking done. You know, he's put his fingerprints on that team again.
Would you have gone with Mammoth, or what would you have gone with? I got to see this
Mammoth,
logo.
Mammoth, I don't mind.
You haven't
Anybody
seen the
don't have
logo? Let me
to
try.
put
I
it
haven't
up,
seen it.
anybody.
I just heard about it.
Mammoth,
know,
I think is fine. I don't know if Yeti, because of the company and this and that, might have been, you know,
yeah, they
whatever,
said they
but-
couldn't do it. I think it would have won, but Yeti was pushing back, conflict of interest. To me, that would have been, I don't know, that would have been freaking Utah Yeti. It just had a great sound and ring to it.
Mammoth sounds nice. So
there you go.
that's nice, man.
Oh,
That's nice, man. That
black
is nice.
is
That's a
dope.
great sweater. That's a great sweater, man.
That
That's
is a dope
That is
sweater.
dope.
Yeah, it is. That's beautiful. Actually, good job, man. Great color scheme too.
That's what
Yeah,
I'm saying.
Who else? Who else? Oh, does Caroline? No, that's not even. Who does black and like a powder blue like that? That is beautiful.
The Capitals used to have a black with a little bit of blue and some gold.
Yeah. Look
before
at
they
Utah,
went red.
man. Look at Utah coming up. Oh,
it up.
the tricksters. What up, Rick? What up, Rick?
What up, Rick?
What's up, man?
OG in the house.
Mama Moist was also in the Instagram chat saying, "What is up?"
Who is?
What is that?
My mother.
Oh, all right. Very cool. What's up, Mama Eddie Money?
How you doing, Mama?
Oh
Eddie
yeah,
Money?
Mama Money.
Mama
Mama
money. Mama money. That's great. So, you know, I had a hard time with firing. At first, I was going to fire Chris Finch, head coach of the Minnesota Timberwolves, calling out Ann Edwards for not having energy and not doing this, not doing that. He's like, if I have to pump you up, or if I had to talk to you about having energy, you know, in a round one game, then, you know, we're not on the same page. You're the coach. You're responsible for everything. So I kind of pissed off at that, but I'm not going to do that. Then I was going to think about, we're going to get into the Cowboys. I was going to fire the Cowboys, but, you know, I'm going to hire Tom Thibodeau, head coach of the New York Knicks, bringing basketball back, baby. You know, Thibodeau's always been a defensive coach. You know, he looks like he lives under a bridge. He's very troll-like, but he gets so much out of his players. To me, like I was telling Rafa and Eddie earlier, to me, a great coach is a coach that can coach defense, that gets teams motivated to play defense and scheme. That's where the real value is. You talk about the Golden State Warriors. I think Golden State Warriors and what's
Knicks.
no, head coach
Oh, Steve Kerr.
Steve Kerr. You know, since Butler's been there, they've had the best defense. And even when they won all those championships, they played great defense. You'd think of them as offense, but Kerr can coach defense. I just love, and we'll get into it a little bit later, but they just played great defense. and the Celtics lived by the 3 and died by the 3, while while the Knicks played defense and got high percentage shots. And I love to see that come back into style. It's much more entertaining for me. It's physical. I love playoff basketball. So Tom Thibodeau, you are getting hired, man. Knicks go up 2-0 on what you would say probably the favorites to win it all, Boston Celtics.
The
Definitely.
best roster in the league.
Yeah.
Top to
And,
bottom, 1 through 8 or 9 is the best roster in the league.
Deep. And we'll get into that later, but yeah, I wanted to call out that just it was so much fun to watch. While it's not beautiful, but man, it was effective. And Mikal Bridges again sealing the deal with that gangster ass defensive play. 2 games in a row, man. Just wild stuff. So that is you're fired. Anyone out there with firings, Rick? You want to fire Deion Sanders or someone?
By the way, the Celtics are 25 for 100. 25 for 100 in the first 2 games from 3.
Ooh.
25 for 100. Think about that.
That's the thing with 3-point shooting, man. We've seen a lot of teams,
The thing is, and they don't force them up. They're open.
Oh, they're wide open. They're wide open because they have so many guys first that can shoot it. They're very deep. They distribute the ball well. And they have guys that can dribble and penetrate and kick it out to open guys, right?
Yeah.
Jaylen Brown. And so, I don't know what's going to happen.
For me, I think Tatum needs to get off of that 3-point line. I think he needs to come up. There's no reason he shot 15 threes in that first game. He shot like 27, 28% from 3 in that first game. You had Derek White. Between him and Derek White, they took 31 threes in game 1. Like for me, I don't want if I'm Joe Mazzulla, if I'm the Boston Celtics, I don't want Derek White shooting 16 3-pointers. Like that's not a recipe for success, obviously. And that's what it was. It wasn't that last year when you won the title. So you taking 31 threes from 2 guys, and one of them is Derek White. Like I don't mind Steph Curry, Klay Thompson taking 31 fucking threes.
Yeah.
But Jason Tatum and Derek White, and Tatum is a guy who can get to the basket.
Yes.
He can get to the cup. So, is Bridges cutting the lanes for him, and he's settling for that outside jumper? I mean, I don't know. But everyone's dying for Jason Tatum to be the face of the league. And to me, it just doesn't translate for me.
I think Tatum sometimes forgets he's 6'8" when he's on that basketball court.
Well, Eddie, did you see the play with 24 seconds to go in the game? He takes the ball full court. He scored in 3 seconds. He went right around it. He went right around this guy and dunked it. It looked so easy. It was like, why isn't this? It almost looked like Giannis, right? But usually Giannis, everyone packs in the key. Everyone just spread out, and he scored in like 4 seconds, full court. It was like a Tyus Edney play. It was freaking crazy. But
There's 2 more shots in the last couple of minutes where he goes down to the low post, backs someone up, and then does a turnaround fade, and both just bricks. The last one didn't even get the shot off.
Yeah, I hate that guys do that. And like, that was Kobe and Michael type thing because number one, they could do it. Number 2, they didn't have the size that Jason Tatum or LeBron has. LeBron does the same shit. Like we've seen him in his later years doing stupid shit like that. Like back to the basket, I'm going to shoot a turnaround. Like, don't do that. Go to the basket. Jason Tatum, Anthony Edwards. Go to the cup. Get fouled. And by the way, they lost this game, and Jalen Brunson didn't have a great game. He had a very good fourth quarter. He was abysmal from 3.
Mm-hmm.
So, and they still lost that game. And now that that Garden, Madison Square Garden for game 3.
Woo!
Brunson, baby.
On I believe Friday night is gonna be rocking. Are you kidding? Up 2-0?
They've been so hungry for this, Robert. That city's been so hungry because they show up for the Knicks. Knicks has a crazy fan base, even though they haven't done shit and who knows how long. I can't even I mean, they didn't even win when Pat Riley was there and
They haven't won
Starks.
since whatever 70.
70s?
Yeah, in the 70s. They didn't
Yeah.
win in the 80s.
Walt
They went to a
Frazier?
Yeah, that was it. That was what, 76 or something?
That's
Damn.
crazy. And
Somewhere
yet
in
they,
there.
you know, I guess it's Madison Square Garden. You have a huge population. You know, it's a cool name. But anyways,
No, it's awesome. But if for the Knicks, if you're a Knicks fan and you're up 2-0 right now, you're getting a couple games here at home, right? Then when you look at the Cavs are hurt and they're down 2-0. And you're looking, you can't think ahead, but as a fan, you always can because you're not playing the fucking games, right?
yeah.
If you're a Knicks fan and you got to be with 2-0, you got to be spitting fucking, you got to be thinking, fuck, we can't get an easier path if we win this series. Like the next two teams, if Cleveland stays hurt, Indiana's a very beatable team, especially for the New York Knicks. And by the way, the Knicks, they haven't got enough credit for trading Randall and getting Cat, because to me, I think Cat was a much better player.
Let's put Rick's firing on. I'm not exactly what he's talking about. And then I want to get into this because I just thought about this. I'd like to hire umpire Bill Miller for cursing himself out, fucking up the call, being overturned, the Red Sox Twins game. I've seen a lot of fucked up calls. I'm not sure.
I saw it. I know what he's talking about.
Yeah. I saw a call yesterday with Hee-Seop Kim or whoever the new Korean guy from the Dodgers. He gets picked off. The first baseman calls him safe. It was like
It was
he
so out.
he almost didn't get to the bag. It was like what was it? What was his name? Like Wesley Snipes in Wild Thing, where he goes back to the bag and he's like 2 feet short. It's like how could
Willie Mays Hayes?
Willie Mays Hayes. Eddie, was that call not one of the worst calls? Like they went to review, everyone started walking off 2 minutes early. Like it was,
both sides started walking to the door.
oh my god, that was so bad. The other thing was there's an account on Instagram where, and I'm sure you've seen it, Ralph. I just don't know what it is. I'd love to give it credit because I think it's genius. He goes into arguments on MLB games and reads the lips.
Oh yes, I know who you're talking about. He's amazing.
He is so good. It is so entertaining. I guess Tatis Jr. got kicked out of the game, and he went over that. Umpires, you got to be less sensitive, man. Especially when you're wrong. Especially when you're wrong, you got to let players argue if you're fucking wrong. Can't wait for the challenge next year of the strikes. I know you can, but I can't wait.
No. I love that. I don't want a fucking robot telling my umpire balls and strikes, but I would love a guy at the plate where if he believes that, you know what, the pitch was here, I would love to see a challenge. And the challenge takes all but like 3 seconds, which is fucking great.
Which is great.
I like that. That's going to be fucking awesome. Now, what I would like, and I don't know how it's going to work, I would like every batter to be able to challenge every at bat. So if you can challenge every at bat, I just hope it's not one time or whatever. And I don't know what the rule is.
I think it should just be one pitch per at bat.
Right. One pitch per at bat. One pitch per at bat. I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be great. But every batter should be allowed. I hope they don't do 3 an inning or whatever. Every batter should get one every at bat.
So let's go back real quick to what Rafa was talking about. And no one's bringing this up, at least that I haven't heard. And this has to kind of deal with LeBron James being able to opt out this year, right? He has the option to opt out, player option. Now let's talk about Jalen Brunson and what he did. Now, if you remember what he did at the beginning of the season, is that he didn't max out. He took a crazy friendly deal, Rafa. You do not see this. We saw Michael Jordan do it. We saw Tom Brady do it. I'm trying to think of any other players that didn't max out when they could have. So they could bring in a cat. So they could bring in some of these. I know they traded for Mikal Bridges, but he And being in New York, I said when he did it, he should never pay for another fucking meal in New York for the rest of his life for not taking this. Now, my question is, LeBron's up. And people are saying he's not going to take. He's going to get the max. He deserves the max. I'm not saying LeBron didn't deserve the max, but LeBron, if not a billionaire by now, he has to be extremely close, Rafa.
Oh yeah.
We drafted his son, right? We drafted his son, which was 100% a favor. I'm not going to go fucking Stephen A. Smith on you, but I'm just going to say he wasn't a necessity, especially when there was no bench to be had. Okay.
Well, and to be fair, I keep saying this. Everyone drafted in that area of the draft, they hardly play. It's not like you're finding a stud.
Agree.
Okay, you're not. It's rare that you find a Draymond, and Draymond didn't go 50 something.
It was 37 or like 37.
You're not. It's rare that you find a Manu Ginobili. Okay, that's all rare. We know that. And most of the picks in the second round, to be honest, to be fair, they're usually they don't really pan out. So it's not like
noted.
So, but yes, you could. Yes, it was a favor. We know that.
Duly noted. Now, I just want to know your thoughts from you two. Is it that wild? Because this is when I really turned on Kobe. And yes, I was not a Kobe fan at the end of his career. I thought he hindered the team, not helped the team, the last 5-6 years. You remember the video of him, he wouldn't even go to every practice. And then when he went to practice, there's film of him saying, these guys suck. I mean, he didn't talk to Anthony Peeler for a year. I mean, the list goes on and on. The point was, I turned on Kobe when he took the max. And then you turn around and you complain about not having teammates. So listen, we're coming to the very end of this career of LeBron James. If he goes out and takes every single penny, listen, it's his money. He can do whatever the fuck he wants. I know we don't talk about other people's money, but Rafi, you have to. I mean, what's the difference if he takes $57 million or $49 million at this point? Is it? I mean, that's a year collection of wine for him at this point. I just want to know your opinion, man. I mean, come on, someone get on my side on this. I mean, Jalen Brunson just did it. I'm sorry, but Jalen Brunson just did it, and it's clearly working out for him.
Well, Jalen Brunson didn't have to do it, okay, because they were matching contracts anyway with Randall and DiVincenzo's contract. We're going to match for Cats anyway. So it's not like they and they were able to because you have to remember, the NBA, the monies have to match for trades. Mm-hmm. It's not like in the MLB, the monies have to match, right? So he didn't have to do it. And, the Knicks did, obviously, to be honest with you, the Knicks didn't go out and spend the different money that they didn't, because their players play the most minutes of most of the players in the NBA. But if I'm LeBron, I agree with you, Eddie. If I'm LeBron, if you really want to build a winner, and all you idiots that don't watch the NBA and sit there and talk shit, oh, well, he has Luka, what more do you need? Because in the NBA,
it's obvious.
You have to be able to play defense. In the NBA, to win in the playoffs, you have to play defense. When your best player was a 40-year-old man against a 22-year-old kid, and against a guy who's won multiple defensive players of the year, who's an elite rebounder in the NBA in today's game, in Rudy Gobert, that's why you lost the series. You were out-rebounded by 15 every game, it felt like. And some might have been as much as 20. So if LeBron really wants to win and help them build a winner, then Pelinka needs to sit down with him and say, hey, listen, this is what I can get. Yeah. And we can get this, this, and this, or we can get this guy. And everyone, if you post this, everyone's going, oh, LeBron always needs something. Well, yes, everyone
needs something.
You need a roster. Look at the Warriors. Although they did a great job drafting Harrison Barnes, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, all of the players that
Kuminga.
with Kaminga. I mean, the list is endless for them. They went out and got Iguodala. They added pieces. They added David West late in his career.
Yeah.
Like they added those pieces. So if Pelinka needs to go to LeBron, whether it's Pelinka or somebody else, Pelinka needs to go to LeBron and say, hey, this is what we can get. We can get this guy, like a KCP type player who can shoot the three and play defense.
Yes.
We can go and get him and bring him back. We can go and get this guy. You need guys that are able to play defense. You need a big. There is no doubt about it. Okay, you need a big. And you don't need a big to play against the Warriors, but you need a big to play against Minnesota. You need a big when you play against Houston. You need a versatile big when you play against Oklahoma. You need a big who can play against Denver. So basically, the 4 or 5 best teams in the West, they all have a big. Although the Thunder, their big is a lot more versatile, can play from the outside, can play a little bit inside in Chet Holmgren. So you're not going to find a guy who's going to be able to guard him outside for too long. But you need a big who's capable of playing the game on the defensive end. That's why I said when you looked at it, if you really asked LeBron for this season, if it was Anthony Davis or Luka, he would have chose Anthony Davis. There is no doubt about it. There is no doubt about it because that's where they struggled in this series. They didn't struggle to score points. They struggled to stop Minnesota from scoring points. They struggled to rebound the ball. So, Pelinka could come to LeBron and say, hey, listen, I can get this guy. I can get this guy. I can get this guy. But you need to take $38 million this year. You need to take $41 million. You need to take $35 million, whatever it is. And if LeBron feels like those guys that Pelinka could possibly bring in, and it wouldn't shock me if LeBron signed after, if he opted out and then re-signed after the roster was put together. And I'm not talking about superstars. People are talking about, bringing in Giannis and this and that. Listen, you can bring in Giannis and he's going to give great help on defense and he's going to be able to guard those bigs. He doesn't want to be down there banging with the Joker. He doesn't want to be down there banging with the bigs in Houston or with Rudy Gobert. That's not who he is. So you bring him in, you will end up in the same shit. You will need to go and find old dudes that can somehow fill in the roster to be able to shoot some threes, be able to shoot from the outside, and somehow be able to find rebounders. So you need to find a big that can play defense and rebound the ball, and then you need to find a 3-and-D guy. Maybe not young, maybe a little bit on the older end, whatever. But if they bring that to LeBron, whether it's Pelinka, if they fire him and get a new GM, whatever it is, if they bring that to LeBron and say, hey, this, and that, I don't see why LeBron wouldn't take less money. He's, and we don't talk about how much guys should make because I believe any athlete should make the max amount of money that a 100% team wants to pay them. 100%. That's what I believe. But you're going to be 41 years old. You're arguably one of the 2 or 3 best players that have ever played. But you're still playing at an elite level that can win you that you can win a title still, or maybe 2 if the roster's built out right. So do I think a draft guy in the first round is going to help you win a title next year? No.
Hell no.
No. Hell no to the no.
Let's talk about it, Eddie Money, because I saw you put it down in your notes. You don't think a trio of Giannis, the Greek Freak, Luka Doncic, and LeBron James, obviously, who do you give everyone away, right? It's going to be tough to match contracts. Austin Reeves clearly gone, but is there anyone else? Is that deal even fathomable? Is it even, it'd be so hard because like you said, you had to match contracts. First of all, do you think that trio could win? And second of all, is it a pipe dream? Because people are going to talk about it. Is it even fiscally possible?
I don't think so. I wouldn't do it.
Really?
I don't think it would work either. You have Luka's ball dominant. Giannis also, their play style just wouldn't mix all 3 of them together. And also to get Giannis, you got to give up so much that whoever's going to be on your bench, you're not going to want them in the game. Come playoff time, it's going to be the same shit of you got to play your starting 5 for a whole half and see if they can make it, and hope that somebody can play defense because Luka's not gonna play defense. It's like you're like trying to build like your favorite 2K roster, which would be great for a video game, but like in actual basketball, that shit is terrible.
No, it's horrible because there's only one basketball, first of all, and you bringing in three guys. You'd have reality Luka. LeBron can kind of take a step down. Let's say LeBron averages 22, 23. But you're bringing in, you're going to have two guys on the team that score 30 a night. And you know, it wouldn't work. Luka doesn't play any defense to help you. You need to bring in guys that can play defense. And I know Giannis can play defense. There is no doubt about it. He's super long. He can, you know, he's agility, hits all over the court, right? He can guard all 5 positions. Does he want to, though? In a 7-game series, is he going to guard Joker for 7 fucking games? Is he going to guard Sengun or Thompson or the bigs from Houston? Because Houston's only going to get better.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be tough. I think you need to go out and find guys that can play defense and rebound the basketball. And by the way, the Warriors did a great job last night rebounding the basketball for the most
Unbelievable, man.
Oh,
they did a great job. And Draymond, man, Draymond had 18 points last night, which is you know, extra. You get anything from him.
Draymond was on fire from 3.
How long have we been screaming for Buddy Hield and LeBron to be on the same team? I mean,
he's those type of players. Buddy Hield is a black Kyle Korver. Probably a little bit better than Kyle Korver. That's what Buddy Hield is.
Yeah.
And the Lakers could have had him a couple years back. They didn't. And
I think they tried, right? They tried.
They didn't try. They didn't try. Because if they would have tried, they would have got him. They would have been. They could have got him from Sacramento, and they didn't. And so, but you need those type of guys. You really do. And the Lakers need a lot. It's not like they need one thing. They need like 3 different things.
Well, since let's keep it on NBA basketball. Right now, Oklahoma City's dropping their puzzo on the
Nuggets.
The Nuggets faux head right now, but that doesn't mean anything. We've seen comebacks this whole playoffs, but you know, Steph Curry goes down with the hamstring, and I'm thinking, okay, well, this is over. And Draymond steps up, Buddy Hield gets the opportunity to, you know, take more shots. I heard something today that, you know, when Steph hasn't played, they average 7 less points a game. Okay. Which is a lot of points per game. That's a big deal.
Right.
But their defense gets increasingly better.
And they have less turnovers. They're more of an efficient basketball team when Steph Curry doesn't play. And it's not that Steph Curry is not a fucking phenomenal player. Yeah. It's not that. It's just that when he's not playing, you now have his backup and the backup's backup. They're all defensive-minded players. Gary Payton Jr., Moody, the kid Pazinski. Like, they're all defensive-minded players who can score the basketball a little bit, but they can play defense. And you brought in Jimmy, who's arguably one of the best 2-way players in the league still to this day. And then you have Draymond, who people love to hate on as the defensive players, I'm learning.
Yeah. It's weird, man. He gets a ton of hate, but, you know, he turned on the offense yesterday too. Like, who knew he still had that in him? We need to get him a sponsorship with just what's the where you comb in the fucking beard,
just for men.
Just for men, man.
Just for men.
Yeah, that beard. He just looks like he has strays. Like it's just really bad look. But do you think, you know, because they're saying he's at least going to be out for 3 games, you know, that puts you into a game 7 possibly. Do you think that Golden State can win this series without Steph?
They're really good defensively. They're really good. But their game plan was not for Steph not to be. Minnesota's game plan was not to me, they didn't look ready last night. Like, I feel like they weren't ready. But I think they're going to force the issue for the Warriors to play Kevon Looney a lot more in the series. I think they're going to attack Draymond. Like, listen, you had 5 fouls on Draymond yesterday. He got 2 quick ones in the fourth. You didn't go after him after that.
Yeah, I noticed that.
You didn't go after him. You have a big who can play down low. He's not one of the greatest post players in the game by any means in Rudy Gobert, but he can play down low. You should have attacked. They should have attacked Draymond. I put that on Finch, the head coach. They just looked like they weren't ready. But I think in game 2, I think you're going to see a different Minnesota team. And, because you got 18 from Draymond last night. That you're not going to get 18 from Draymond because that's not the player that he is. That's not the player he's ever been. So you're not going to get 18 from him tomorrow night. So I think Minnesota wins tomorrow night. And if Curry doesn't come back, I don't know if Golden State can win another game. Maybe game 3 because the fans and this and that. But I think Minnesota's going to get it going.
How much blame do you put on Ant? I think
for last night,
I think it was 24 and 12 or 24 and 14. Like he had a shit ton of rebounds. The shot wasn't going down last night.
Yeah,
but
I think in the fourth, only like a couple of his shots from the whole night were actual jumpers. Everything was either free throws or in the paint.
I'd like to see him attack more.
Yeah, Barkley said it last night, and I agreed with him. I love Charles. I love that show. But Barkley said the worst thing that ever happened to Ant was becoming a decent 3-point shooter. Just like you said about Tatum.
Like Tatum.
He's so athletic and can get to the rim so easy. He's so big. He's even stronger than Tatum. He's I don't know if he's explosive, but it seems like he settles too much. And what'd you think about his game last night? I was expecting more. Like, dude, I don't know.
I was expecting a lot more from Ant last night, and I don't think. But Jimmy had to have bothered him, right? And so Jimmy guarded him for a lot of the night. I think that bothered him. And you have to remember, Golden State's defense, their rotation defense, they're super smart. Draymond's the captain of that defense. Their rotations to him, they were great. Now, he needs to be more aggressive on offense, attack the basket, let Jimmy get in foul trouble, make Jimmy work. If you have Jimmy 25 feet, 22 feet from the basket, that's where Jimmy wants you, especially if you're not Steph Curry from 20 plus feet, and you're not. So Ant's a dynamic player. He's got to attack the basket and make Jimmy work a little harder than what he was. Jimmy, I think Jimmy was in his head last night. I think Jimmy bothered him in that first half, and he was out of rhythm. And so he started settling for the jumper and this and that, and it wasn't going. He's got to be aggressive and keep attacking. I think Minnesota. I think tomorrow night you're going to see a different game from Rudy. I think Rudy's going to have a lot of baskets down low until they bring in Looney. And when if the Warriors bring in Looney, it slows down their offense a ton, and it really does. And Looney's great with the pick and roll and all of that, and he's a great guy to set screens. But without Curry, it's gonna be a lot different with Looney on the floor. I think it's gonna slow them down a lot more, and Rudy's gonna make them work. Rudy's gonna make them work.
It just went into halftime. Thunder's up by 29, scored 86 points in the first half.
It's a franchise record, most in
is it
half in a playoff.
That is wild. Well, I mean, the franchise hasn't been around too long. I guess
I wasn't worried. I'm not worried about the Nuggets in this series. To be honest with you, I think when
the Nuggets are the.
I'm not worried about the Nuggets. I think I'm not worried about tonight's game. For me, tonight's game, with the Nuggets can lose by 50. The Nuggets in their mind, they know they're on pace for sure. They've been there before. They've won a title. They've been to conference finals. I think Denver, when they get back home on Friday night, that elevation change, the altitude, that all of that shit that goes into play when you play in Denver, I think you could see Denver be up 3-1 in this series. I really do.
I love their pieces, man. I love the pieces that they have.
By the way, Joker is the only superstar in the NBA to play, I believe, his entire career without another All-Star on his roster at that moment.
Murray's
never been. And wow. We could agree. If he was in the East, he might have been an All-Star already.
I know he was a borderline, right? Like
Yeah, but the West was always so stacked, right? Like,
Yeah.
look at the guards. I mean, you had Lillard for so long in the West, and it was trouble. It was hard for him to make an All-Star
Yeah, for
at a
sure.
certain point. So, but Nuggets, it wouldn't shock me if the Nuggets were up 3-1 in the series after 4 games. I'm just letting you know. So don't let tonight fool you. Don't let tonight fool you. Although Oklahoma, they're a pretty good defensive team, Oklahoma as well.
They are, and they're deep and talented.
But I hate the Thunder. I hate guys that, like too many Williamses on a team. I get fucking bro. I just can't do it.
It's now officially the most points in any half of a postseason game. Chet hit 2 more free throws.
Look at Chet go, man.
So
last team to do it, 2017 Cavs in the finals.
Shocker. Ain't no shock, baby. Ain't no shock, baby.
I thought there was no one on that team.
Not the 2017 Cavs. No, that was 2007 Cavs.
Oh, okay.
2007 Cavs. Nobody.
Can we give Joker what were his final stats? 44 and
bro. I give Joker his
22.
flowers every night. I mean,
it's
bro. The disrespect.
It's wild. It's so wild at this point. And
he had 42, 22, and 6.
Oh my god!
On just over 50% shooting and 2 of 6 from 3.
The guy has an 8-inch vertical jump. It's wild. It's so wild. But yeah,
people don't talk about how smart he is. Like I saw some guy the other day. I don't know what post it was, and he's in the comments talking about, oh, it's because the game runs through him. Because it can run through him because he's that fucking smart. Like there's the plays that he makes, the passes that he makes, the finds, like all of that. You have to be smart to do that. That just doesn't, you have to be smart to do that.
Does it not look like he's literally coaching this team at this point?
Oh no, he's coaching this shit. In the first round, I'm telling you, he brought in DeAndre Jordan. Bro, he brought in DeAndre Jordan to close a quarter after the ball goes out of bounds, and he looks over at the bench and he's like, Jordan, get him in. And they get him in because the Clippers attempted a lob to the basket to end a quarter. And sure enough, DeAndre Jordan was there to knock it down.
I've never seen him this animated before. Now we know 100% that he got Mark Malone fired.
Listen, I don't know if he got him fired, but if they went to him and said, hey, what do you think if we fire him? He probably sat and said, I can run it. I can run it.
I got this.
I got this.
I got it.
I got this.
Put my brother at the end of the bench in a suit.
It's like the only time Joker ever shows the emotions, like when he's coaching them in the huddle. It's almost he's like yelling at them, like, do you not understand like what I'm trying to do? Like what's going on here? He like looks at them, he's like,
oh dude, I think it was, I don't remember what game it was against the Clippers, but it was one of the ones here in LA that they won. I don't remember if it was a game 3 or 4 or whatever. That game, I've never seen that side of Joker. He fucking commanded the basketball every fucking time. Give me the ball. Give me the ball. Like that game, that was the same game where he had DeAndre Jordan come in the game to close, I think, the third. Like that game to me, and I texted one of my buddies and I said, dude, are you watching the Joker today? Because the Joker today reminded me like of something that like prime Shaq would do maybe on the court.
It's Bill Russell in the late 60s. He's head coach and he's fucking Bill Russell.
Dude, he's out there doing it. And I'm not worried about tonight's game for me. The Thunder had to have it and they came out and they're flying, right? And to me, and this Thunder team has so much experience. Not even with the bench, even with the guys that just got there, like Westbrook, who's had plenty of playoff experience, been to an NBA Finals, all of that. Like, I think tonight's game, if they lose by 50, like that shit just passes by them. Because I think in game 3, they're going to come out and win that game.
Can I say this? And I just thought of this real quick. In Oklahoma, and I haven't seen the game. I've only been looking at the score through my phone. It's the only arena, or maybe the only city, where how they put shirts on people's chair?
Yeah.
And every single fucking person wears it. Like, try that shit in LA. Try that shit in New York.
Are you kidding? The outfits in LA, they're not ruining an outfit for a fucking $4 shirt. Like motherfuckers are wearing Gucci to the Laker game. Like, bro, they buy outfits to go to the Laker game out here. You think they're gonna put on a $4 shirt you printed, the same shirt that the fucking dude's selling after the game at the corner?
Yeah.
Like, they're not doing that shit.
Right? Is there anything more annoying when they pan in the playoffs to a Knicks or a Laker game, and it's a crunch time? 17 seconds left, down by 1, and they'll pan the timeout, and there's a girl in the front row
On their phone.
that taking a selfie, like, has no fucking clue what's going on. It happens every fucking game, and it drives me nuts. But
Yeah.
shout out to Oklahoma City for wearing those $6 t-shirts, because I know even those tickets are expensive down on the floor. Because I'm gonna be honest, man.
We
I
got
ain't
we got
Good
some
match,
questions from Matt Azarola from Instagram.
What's
He
up, Matt?
goes, he asks if they play OKC and Curry is still out, then I would think they would lose. If he's still out, they win this. If he's still in, they win the series, I think is what we're trying to say. He also asking, with the series how they are now, who do you guys have to win it all?
In
Uh,
the West or the East?
just to win the whole thing.
The whole thing.
Oh,
Dude, it's so tough, right? Because Indiana's up 2-0, the Knicks are up 2-0. The Celtics, can they come back from 2-0? They're more than capable of coming back from 2-0. But the Knicks have to me, a better head coach.
yeah.
To me, a better leader in Jalen Brunson over Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. That's my opinion only. I think the Knicks can beat the Celtics. I'm going to say I'll give two sides. I will take the Knicks in the East, and I still strongly believe that the Nuggets in the West.
I 100% agree with you. For one reason, I think the Cavs are just banged up.
Too hurt.
Garland not playing for them, to me, is just too big.
And Mobley.
Yeah, it's too much. It's too much to overcome. They were terrific because of that. And from what I've seen, I love the Knicks, and I'm gonna agree with you, Rafa. You have the best player in basketball, and when it's all said and done, this dude might make it to the Mount Rushmore. I don't see Denver having the 6 or the 5 and 6 championships, just because Denver's a really tough place to attract free agents to. It's not that glamorous, but if they can keep on, Michael Porter Jr., he was a phenomenon, but it had a back issue that everyone was terrified of.
Knee. I think it was his knee.
I think it was his.
I thought he blew out his knee in the first game of Missouri, is what I thought.
You might be right.
And they got lucky. He played one game at Missouri, and he gets hurt, and he drops all the way to whatever, 15 or 16.
Yes.
But everyone knew going into that season that he was the best player, going to be the best player in college basketball. But I agree with you. And by the way, he's got a bad shoulder that he's been playing with since the playoffs have started, and he's played well.
He also had surgery on his lower back.
Yeah, as the rookie.
No, like coming into
coming into this year.
It was
his knee injury was coming into the draft. I remember that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So that's how I got it mixed up. Okay. So, I mean, other than, do we talk about, let's just finish it off with Indiana and the Cavs. Now at this point, Halliburton being labeled the most overrated, overrated.
I hate that. That he's most overrated.
You saw it. It was just a disaster.
And he played hurt last night, by the way. He's got a contusion on his right hand. Played it taped up.
And luckily his dad is not allowed at those games. I think his dad would have ran out and tackled his ass, but he's not allowed on the road. I don't even know if he's allowed at home. But
no, he's not. Not for the whole rest of the playoffs.
That
okay, good.
The elephantitis of the ball celebration. That was a great celebration. It was so good, and just fantastic finish. Where do you see that? You think the Pacers finish that off?
If the Cavs don't get back to, if the Cavs are not at full strength, they cannot beat this Pacer team. The performance they got last night from Donovan Mitchell, he was phenomenal. The 3.5 minutes or 3 minutes that he sat, maybe even might have been even less, because I remember Cleveland calling a timeout to get him back in the game. He had a phenomenal performance last night. I mean, it was insane. If you watched it, it was amazing.
It was unbelievable. Was it
he
48 points?
I don't remember what he ended with, but I know at one point he had like 34 minutes and like 42 points. But he did miss some free throws there in that fourth quarter, towards the end of the third. He did miss a couple of free throws. But the way he played last night, and Max Strus, they were phenomenal last night.
Strus was awesome last night.
And they lost that game. And I'll tell you why I think they lost that game. Going into the fourth quarter, the game's 98-84. If you're watching the game, as I was watching the game, Eddie, that pace that the Cavs were playing in that third quarter, although, and they can say that's not the pace they want to play, because that's Indiana's pace. But you were playing at Indiana's pace, and you were up 14 to start the fourth. I know you went to Mitchell right to the bench, but you completely slowed it down even when he came back in the game, which let you then, and they had, I believe they were in the bonus already in that fourth quarter with maybe 6:50 left. And I thought when I saw them in the bonus with almost more than half of the fourth quarter still to go, and they weren't attacking the basket, and Donovan Mitchell was gassed. I mean, you clearly saw it. I mean, he can be all young guy or whatever, but he was gassed. He carried the load last night, and they still lost. You had a great game from Max Strus. You had a terrible game from the kid who came in, who replaced Garland last night, who usually comes off the bench. Don't remember what his name is, but he was like 1 for 13 at one point. I mean, and he was just he was so insecure. Like he had nothing. Like every time he put up a shot, it was a short arm. They were talking about it during the game. I don't remember if maybe Steve Smith calling the other analyst last night, but you can tell everything was short. He was unsure because he had no confidence. He was 1 for 12, 1 for 13, 1 for 14. It felt nothing was going down for him, but it got to a point like at 1 for 7 or 1 for 8 where he had no confidence. There was
Ty Jerome?
Yes.
Yes.
Jerome.
He was 1 for 14.
Yeah, I mean, having him in the game when he had zero confidence was basically like you were playing with one less player. It really was. You were playing with one less guy on the offensive side of the ball. And for Halliburton, like people can say he's overrated or whatever. He can play the game of basketball. And there's a reason that Indiana gave up Sabonis to get him. And because they saw it. And if you don't believe that Tyrese Halliburton is one of the 15 best players in the league, then
you crazy, man.
You crazy.
And he was getting to the rim. He's just not a shooter. He can get to the hole. He did it all night, which gives him a little bit of space to step back and hit that shot that he made.
He was really uncomfortable for most of that game, though. I know his hand was bothering him because he has, when you watch Halliburton play, he dribbles up near the top of the key and he can hit that step back three, although an ugly shot, but he shoots it at a decent percentage. And last night he was really uncomfortable. The defense they were playing on him got him really uncomfortable. I just think when they slowed down the pace to start that fourth, and I know Mitchell wasn't in the game, that's where it went to shit for them.
Was it 48 points, Eddie Money, that he ended up with? 48
on 36 minutes.
Whew.
I mean, and the thing is, those 36 minutes, you can sit there and look and say, how is this guy gassed if he plays 36 minutes when other guys are playing 40? Those 36 minutes were 36 minutes of attacking the basket, taking shots down. He looked like 2006 Dwayne Wade. The way he was getting up in the basket and getting dropped down. And I mean, he went to the free throw line. God, it had to have been maybe 10 times, Eddie Money. Do you have?
Yeah, he was 15 of 30 field goals, and he was 17 of 21 from free throw.
Yeah, 21 free throws last night. He was getting beat down there.
Yeah,
that's why he was exhausted. So when you look at, he only played 36 minutes. Those fucking 36 minutes, dude. Those 36 minutes were I mean, just brutal. Those were a brutal 36 minutes.
Last point on basketball, and it's a bugaboo of mine. We have We're almost at an hour. I got to take a break. I have someone here I got to see for like 2 minutes. I don't know if you guys noticed this, and I've noticed it now, and I've never brought it up. 133 episodes. The free throw shooting and the stupid high fives from everybody after a made free throw. You have the guy coming from half court. They're doing this. It's like, bro, it's a free throw.
No, it's routine.
It's
routine.
Eddie, they've done that forever.
I know.
It's routine. What? Come on.
I know, and I'm gonna get made fun of. You don't know ball. Why does it bother me? I know it's happened forever. It's a free throw. You're in the NBA. Whether you make it or miss it, I don't care. I don't need you to touch my hand.
They do it every time, make or miss. Oh, my camera just went dead.
Yeah. So you guys are completely fine with it. You're cool with I have to move. I'm tired as fuck in the fourth quarter, and I got to come down and slap Westbrook's hand after a made free throw or a missed free throw. That doesn't bother you guys? Am I the only person?
I'm okay with it.
I'm fine with it. As like in the middle of a game when you're shooting, like it's just like a little like reassurance, like, hey, you're good, you got this. Like regardless of how many points or like you scored, how much time is left on the clock, you got to make shit like as regular and as like calm as possible. And I think that like for me that helps.
Okay, Rafa, I want a slap on the ass or a high five after every fucking iron shot. I want you to tell me I'm okay. I make it, and we'll play one round of golf. It's going to take 72 fucking days to do it. To me, it's fucking annoying. I know that's like just completely off track. I've been wanting to bring that up. In high school, I get it. Like if you make a free throw, like, oh shit, yeah, you suck. Yeah, we needed that free throw. And you're in the NBA, man. You know, you're a fucking professional basketball. This is your fucking job.
What? I don't. How do you? What? I'm trying to like compare it to something like in another sport. It's so like
it's not as bad as Duke and Illinois. You know, when they foul someone, everyone let's huddle up. That I understand. Although seems unnecessary. You're going over strategy, like, hey, do this, do that. In college, you see that a lot. You know,
I hate that in college, actually. I hate that shit in college. That after fucking literally, and the game just started. Everyone does it. The game just started. It's like 1937 still left on the clock. 23 seconds into the game, there's a foul. We're already huddling up. What the fuck are we doing? The game just started. We just talked for 2 hours.
I know. Okay. So that being said, Eddie Money, hold on. He might not be here yet. We're gonna get in. That is NBA. Have we covered NBA? We've never started with an hour off of the NBA, have we? I feel like that's
maybe one time before.
Yeah, maybe one time before. But either way, yeah. Let me just make a quick text. What do we got going on, Eddie Money? What's on the docket for the rest of this show?
For NFL, we covered the draft last week. A lot of stuff about that. Mainly, the only thing that happened in the NFL this week was George Pickens to the Cowboys. If you guys want to talk about that, Rafa's an undercover Cowboy fan.
So we talking about that.
I am not a fucking undercover Cowboy.
Bullshit. Bullshit. I'm gonna put your feet to the fire, and
dude, I am not a fucking undercover Cowboys fan.
Why do we feel like you are? You think they're gonna be great every year?
Because it's the fucking Cowboys. Dude, there's like certain teams, to me, I always feel like the Cowboys, the Niners, the Steelers, like they should be good. Like history tells me that they should be good. And the Cowboys, I believe that they have the quarterback in place to be good. I believe the Niners have that. I believe with the Steelers are the exception at quarterback, but the Steelers have a phenomenal fucking head coach. So I always believe the Cowboys are going to be good if their quarterback is Dak Prescott, their receivers fucking CeeDee Lamb, and their defensive end is Micah fucking Parsons. I always believe that those three players to me, in their positions, are top 10, sometimes even top 5.
But Rafa, and I know I should have, I actually had it down here. I wanted to fire Sam fucking Acho for this horrific take that he fucking gave on the fucking Cowboys today. Let's talk about the George Pickens, right? The trade that went down this morning, big news. Two, cornerstone franchises in the NFL, Steelers and Cowboys. So probably, I mean, arguably, maybe the two biggest fan bases in the NFL. Would you agree?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So, if you don't know, Pickens was traded, a malcontent, and I don't think I'm saying anything that's outrageous when I call him a malcontent. He's been, we suck, and he throws tantrums on the fucking sideline. He was sort of not a problem child at Georgia, but he was a little difficult at Georgia. I think that's fair to say.
Just another average Georgia football player.
That's bullshit.
He said 100% an undercover Georgia fan.
That's bullshit. That is bullshit. Go Dogs! That is bullshit. Come on, man.
See how offended he gets when you talk shit about
Yeah,
Georgia?
at least he wasn't speeding in a track hog.
Yeah, there you go.
Exactly. Fuck.
Like half of the fucking team. So, listen, there's so many angles to look at this, Rafa. First of all, okay, Jerry Jones did say we're not done yet after this draft. He did say we're going to make some trades. It came out later today that Mike Tomlin was 100% behind this move. I wouldn't say that he was the conduit or the driving force, but it didn't seem like he was too upset about it. And if you look at the history of, first of all, the Steelers drafting receivers isn't very good. But secondly, getting rid of a malcontent receiver or listen, all receivers we know, divas, right? Very few guys, shut up and ball. And I don't have a problem with it. Receivers want the ball. They're very talented and they want to do what they can do. But, I have a list of former or Steeler receivers that I would say, traded away or let go in their prime. First, we have the Antonio Brown, 4-time All-Pro. I mean, was maybe the top 2 receiver, but very difficult. But you could not argue with his production. I mean, he was incredible. They get rid of him, right? Just at the right time, goes to the Raiders. We all know what happened there, but never had a 1,000-yard season again. I mean, we all the Tom Brady, peace out in Tampa Bay was famous. That one. You have Martavius Bryant, very talented, troubled, like the ganja too much. Deontay Johnson, also really talented, but left and never produced with Carolina, I believe. Chase Claypool, who looked like the next coming of Andre Johnson out of Notre Dame. He goes to the Bears and just, ever since he said I'm a top 3 receiver in the league.
Yeah.
He was god awful. This is a list of receivers that specifically Mike Tomlin had no issue with them leaving and Mike Tomlin being correct. Why do you think this would be any different, Rafa? Why do you think this could actually work in a more fishbowl environment than even Pittsburgh? I mean, Dallas is the ultimate, God's looking down on them, right? Do you actually think this could work? And I just, this is a shit show. A third round. I think they fleeced Jerry Jones.
Oh, I think so too. I was arguing back and forth with a couple Cowboy fans about it this morning. So
Shocker.
to me, like they loved it, right? Oh my God, what a trade and blah blah.
course.
The trade could be only for a 5th round if he ends up, the only way
Sucking.
that no, actually if he gets a T Higgins type of deal, then the Cowboys get a 3rd round pick in reimbursement for him.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Which would be stupid because this guy has yet to produce 80 catches. He's had 1,000-yard season twice in 3 years. Now, their reasoning was the quarterbacks weren't good, right? Well, last year in Oakland, in Las Vegas, a tight end had 100+ receptions with a quarterback
Oh,
who might not even be
garbage.
He might not even be the second guy this year. He might not even be QB2. And he clearly wasn't good enough because they went out and got Geno Smith. And you had a tight end produce 100+ receptions. Although Brock Bowers, phenomenal talent. We saw it at Georgia. Go Dogs, right? We saw it at Georgia. But for me, George Pickens going to Dallas, where he will be the number 2 option. He was problematic being the number 1. Now he's going to go and he's going to be the number 2 in Dallas. Like, and he's up for money. He wants to get paid. Did he not want to get paid last year? Because if he would have put up numbers last year and not had that attitude that they had, the scheme, the offensive coordinator, he sucked and blah, blah, blah. And it was Russell Wilson and all of the above. But at the end of the day, he was the number 1 option. He didn't produce like a number 1. I know you're bringing him in as a number 2, but he was a problematic number 1.
Yes.
A guy who's supposedly in his prime, right? A guy who's in his prime. He's a prime age NFL wide receiver who was a number 1 last year and struggled to produce. And it's not like he completely struggled because he had phenomenal games. He makes plays, but he's got a bad attitude. The attitude has stayed with him from Georgia and beyond.
Yeah.
So it's been a problem. So now when he goes here, and you have to remember, Dallas had, the bring in Ferguson, who's their tight end. It's a target of Dak. You're coming into a team that you might be the 2nd or maybe even the 3rd option some weekends, some Sundays on this roster. How is a guy with a bad attitude going to translate when he's the 2nd, possibly the 3rd option on a team? I don't like the move. Not for a 3rd round pick, because I don't think that he's going to have the 1,200 yards and 80 receptions and 8 or 9 touchdowns to get T Higgins money next year.
Oh, yeah.
So in my eyes, you gave up a 3rd round pick for a problematic receiver, is my opinion.
So let's talk some scrambling and gambling. We are the gambling show of record. And Eddie Money, I hope you could check this for me. I'll give you a little heads up. Before this morning, the Dallas Cowboys were a over under 7.5 win line in Vegas.
Oh, are you kidding? Put that
7
that.
And
Are you kidding?
Here we go, Eddie Money. Here's where the closet Cowboy fan shows up with Rafa. Now this is before the amazing signing of George Pickens, who, by the way, and this is, I think, when you argue with Dallas fans, and I hate to put you out there like this, Dallas fans, but Dallas fans are very much
homers. They're homers.
Worse than homers. I might not even watch the game. I watch the highlights, and George Pickens' highlights are amazing, right? Like the one-handed catches. You're looking at this guy, but then if you watch a game, he's not very impressive, but his highlights, amazing. This is probably my theory and why they think he's so good. Now, Eddie Money, is it still 7.5?
7.5, favored at -135.
So it's still 7, yeah. And you love, because let me go through. I looked it up. Let me go through, because Sam Acho said this stupid ass shit today. And listen, Sam Acho says a lot of stupid ass shit. But he said that the Dallas Cowboys will have the most balanced offense in the NFL. He's saying they might not be the best offense, but they will have the most balanced offense. Now, I will save quarterback for last because I do have a crazy theory on this. But let's go into the running.
Don't talk about Rafa's baby.
Let's go into the running back depth chart. Okay, you got Javonte Williams, right? You from Denver, UNC grad, was really good. And he blew out his knee 2 years ago.
Yeah.
You're getting Javonte Williams, who I like, but what running back have you ever seen be incredible after a just torn up knee? Okay, he's probably going to be your number one. Then you draft. Well, okay. Then you draft a Jason Blue, right? The starting running back from Texas, who in a very deep running back class was not even a top 10. But because Sam Acho went to the University of Texas, he's saying, "Oh,
he's a dog.
He's a dog. I watched every game. Blue, he has a chance to be this and that and this and that." Okay. To me, that is not a stellar running back room by any means. Okay. Now you go to the receiver, you have Pickens, you have CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb 2 years ago, to me, was the best receiver in the NFL. I mean, I think he had 10 games in a row over 100. He was just phenomenal and unbelievable. I do like Jake Ferguson at tight end. You've built a new offensive line. You brought in a new offensive coordinator, Clayton Williams, who was the offensive line coach for the Arizona Cardinals and is more of a run scheme guy. I think their offensive line is going to be, really much improved, right? You're losing a Hall of Famer in Martin. You drafted in the first round. I forget. They have 3 guys with the same name. I forget. I don't know what it is. But to me, it's the same feeling I had last year when you thought they were going to be a 12-win team, Rafa. I am not impressed by that room or that offense at all. And for you to say with the lame duck sitting duck coach that you don't like, and much improved NFC East, right? We've seen Washington. Giants are going to be better. The Eagles are the fucking Eagles.
They're the best team in the division.
I think. I mean, I agree with 7.5. What do you got, Rafa?
I can't. When to me, Dak Prescott is the top 10 quarterback. That's my opinion of Dak. That he's top 10. When you have a top 10 quarterback, when you have one of the 5 best defensive ends in the league, when you have one of the 5 best receivers in the league, if all healthy, because Dak got hurt last year, if they're all healthy, there's no way that team doesn't win 8 games. I'm sorry.
Vegas is Vegas, man.
Vegas is Vegas. That's fine. They missed on Washington last year by 8 games.
That was a rookie quarterback. Now,
the roster was terrible.
Not on my dog Terry McLaurin.
Scary Terry, man.
They missed on Denver by how many games? They missed on Denver
again. Rookie quarterback.
They missed on Pittsburgh. They missed on Pittsburgh's win total by a lot, by 2 games.
Yeah, that was actually
7.5 for an elite quarterback to have a 7.5 win total. To me is ridiculous. I agree with you. I think the Giants are a phenomenal. I think that defense, if Abdul Carter's healthy, I think that defense will be top 5 in the league next year. No doubt about it. I think Russell Wilson with Malik Neighbors, the running back, that. I think that offense, I think the Giants can win 10 games. But I think Dallas's 7.5 win total, I think is too low. And we'll get to that as we get closer to the season when all these moves are all set and done. But to me, a quarterback of the caliber of Dak Prescott to have 7.5 win total is a disrespect.
Eddie Money, we got to put together, and I don't know if it's possible to do it right now, but you got to put together who would you rather, because you said top 10. And I'm a fan of Dak, but I'm not sure if he's top 10 anymore. Now,
He got
Eddie's-
hurt last year. The year before that, he was
Yeah.
top 4.
no, 2 years ago he was unbelievable.
The year before last year. Last year he
Okay,
was
okay,
hurt.
okay.
The season before, he
He
finished
was-
second in MVP.
Yeah,
There's
he was
look, Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, Matthew Stafford,
Lamar Jackson,
Lamar.
Joe
Yes.
Burrow,
He's already said Joe Burrow.
Jared
the
Goff.
kid who?
Yeah.
Jaden Daniels,
No,
Jared Goff.
not
I
Jaden
don't-
Daniels.
Patrick
what?
Mahomes.
What?
Not Jaden Daniels. Do you want to
You
see
wouldn't
Jaden
rather
Daniels?
have Jaden?
I want to
Oh
see
my
Jaden
God.
Daniels. I want to. How was CJ Stroud last year? How
Oh.
was CJ Stroud last year? I
Sophomore
want to see
slump.
Jaden.
Sophomore
I
slump.
want to see I want to see Jaden Daniels in season 2. I want to see it. I promise you, the Washington Redskins don't win 9 games next year. You can
Here we
book
go
that shit.
again.
I promise.
Here we go again.
The Texans
You lost
last
that
year,
bet. You lost
they
that
made
bet.
fucking listen. They made
Their win total is 9.5.
the Redskins under.
Yeah.
Listen, last year,
Oh my God.
Yeah, pick 'em.
last
They're
year,
pick
the
'em.
Jags were just so fucking
You
bad.
must have had a bad sophomore year in high school or something where you have this
Dude,
crazy thing against
it's
sophomore
literally-
quarterbacks.
It's literally been proven, with the exception
Sophomore
of
slump is a thing.
it's a thing.
It is a
with
thing.
with the exception of Brock Purdy.
No.
Oh, am I right? Am I lying? In that sophomore year for Brock Purdy, that
Oh,
motherfucker
you're
was
not going
chilling
there. are
one
not
play
going there.
away from winning the
You're not going
motherfucking
there.
Super Bowl. There
We-
is few quarterbacks that I will take over Dak Prescott. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
If you can't make a clip of this because Rafa will be tarred
Okay,
and
we
feathered.
could- I got a list of all the quarterbacks from last season. We could do it now.
Let's do it. Let's do it right now.
We could do a would you rather Dak Prescott or Caleb Williams?
Dak Prescott.
Dak Prescott.
Dak Prescott or CJ Stroud?
Dak Prescott.
Dak Prescott.
Dak Prescott or Tua?
Dak Prescott.
Dak Prescott or Baker?
Dak.
Dak Prescott.
I don't know. I love me some Baker.
Eddie
man.
loves Baker Mayfield. I prefer Dak.
All right.
Or
Dak
Dick.
Prescott or Matthew Stafford?
Matthew Stafford.
Matthew Stafford.
Dak Prescott or Justin Herbert?
Dak Prescott.
Give me Justin. Give me Justin Herbert. Give me Justin Herbert. He had a fucking 5'10" white boy as his best receiver last year.
Dak Prescott or Jalen Hurts?
Jalen Hurts.
Jalen Hurts.
Okay, so that's just around this one too. Dak Prescott or Jordan Love?
Jordan Love.
man.
I knew that would get wrong.
Jordan Love.
Jordan Love.
So you have them. Those were like around the top 10 QBR. You have them just outside of who you would pick, basically.
So I only take Jordan Love and Matthew Stafford over.
You didn't even give Jared Goff. You didn't even give Patrick
because
Mahomes.
Those are all top 5.
You don't need it. We don't need to
Oh,
put
okay.
Patrick
those are
Mahomes,
obvious.
Joe Burrow or Josh Allen or
Okay.
Lamar into that. But Dak is right outside of that. And the season before, when fully healthy, he finished second in MVP, if I'm not mistaken. So his last full season, fully healthy, Dak finished second. I believe that Dak is still a top 10 quarterback. And when you have a top 10 quarterback on your team, there is no way, in my opinion, that your win total should be fucking 7.5. That's all I'm
Okay.
saying.
So this
If
is
Dak
gonna be-
Prescott was on the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Pittsburgh Steelers would win the fucking Super Bowl.
Oh, okay. That's different because you're gonna give that dude more structure.
I
okay.
like Dak, man. I like that.
Okay, so I'm looking up, I'm getting prepared for the show. I'm looking up depth chart, right? And I see something on the Cowboys roster. I told you I was going to go over that QB room last. Something that intrigues my loins, something that gives me some tingles. And this is how I think. And this is going to be crazy and people are going to make fun of me. This is how I think they do get over 8 wins. They brought in Joe Milton. Now, Dak is a broke down palace. Shoulders, knees, heads and toes. Dak is not a healthy human being. I love that they brought in Joe Milton. This to me says Tony Romo and Dak Prescott all over again. We
Oh.
know he has a crazy arm. We know he's crazy athletic. I wanted Joe Milton. I was begging. I might be dumb on this, but I love me some Joe Milton, and I'm not obviously not wishing Dak to get hurt, but I think Joe Milton is dynamic, and I want to see that dude get some freaking starts this year in Dallas, baby. And I think he could be that. Oh my God, we found another one. Listen, they found Tony Romo, they found Dak. Can they get lucky again? And can Joe Milton? And can you imagine the Dallas fans? And if they love their quarterbacks in Dallas. And if this young man shows any signs of life, he's dynamic. We all know that. He has maybe the biggest arm in the NFL. I mean, the dude throws the ball 75 yards in the air and can run like he's AR-15, but can actually throw a football. That's my crazy wild take, man. Joe Milton. I'm just saying. Eddie Money.
They saw that one game with him with the Patriots where he had to step in, and they're like, we got to get this guy.
I wanted him. He did enough for me. He did enough for me, man. So
we'll see. Dallas over 7.5, the way it sits today.
Ah, man. I don't know, man. I think if I said 9, you'd have been like, oh my God, easy 10.
Hey, 7.5 is too low of a number.
All right. Eddie Money, what do you think?
7.5. I think 8. 8.5 would have been my A 7.5. I think 8 is the number where I think 8 wins with our end of the season.
And you're going on record right now to say that the Washington Redskins 9.5 is too high.
I'm going on record right now as saying that the Washington Redskins might finish in last place in the NFC East.
Do you see how much cap space they had, Rafa? They drafted well. I mean,
you think Dallas is going to do better than Washington?
I think the Giants are going to do better than Washington.
Wow, that's just wild.
I think the Washington Redskins will finish in last place in the NFC East.
I get your skepticism of the sophomore thing with Jaden Daniels. I mean, his mama has him on a leash, man. His mama has him on lockdown. He's mama's like Daniel LaRusso and Karate Kid. She's driving and picks up Kelly, the date. You know, this Mama LaRusso. That's Jaden Daniels' mom at this point. I mean, she sits in between Jaden's date and whoever that was, the USC
Juju Watkins.
Oh yeah.
I saw something yesterday where she was the third wheel on another date. And listen, Jaden, I love you, man. I love my mama too. But we got to cut the cord at some point, man. It's a little wild. It's a little wild. But he was so good, Rafa.
He was phenomenal.
A step down would be good. He was great. Like he had
There is no doubt about it. He was great. So was CJ Stroud. And if any team in that division was even borderline average, they might have fucking won 8 games, 9 games. I think they won 10. Like, even then, because CJ wasn't that good last year. We saw him get the fucking yips in the pocket.
Oh, that was
You
really
saw
bad.
that. Are you going to see that from Jaden Daniels this year? We will see. But I'm telling you right now, on May 7th, 2025, that the Washington Redskins will finish in last place in the NFC East.
Here's the thing. Jaden Daniels is a far superior runner and better in the pocket than CJ. CJ Stroud was always a pocket passer. he was always a 300 to 400 yard passer. Jaden Daniels, I've been seeing him do this shit since a freshman at ASU. He hasn't changed his style of play.
He's
He
a
is a
phenomenal talent. There
Yeah.
is no doubt about it. But yeah, it's kind of how do you say gimmicky?
Oh
I don't
man,
know. I don't know.
you
Let
know
me
what?
ask you
Gimmicky is
something. Let me ask you
crazy.
something. Let me ask you something.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. Lamar Jackson is the most amazing talent that we've seen at quarterback, and he's more amazing than the jersey that hangs behind.
I was gonna
him.
say Michael Vick. Yeah,
He's more amazing and dynamic than Michael
Mm.
Vick was. Okay. But when it gets down to the playoffs, when there's all 53 guys and all 25 coaches on the staff completely focused on this man, what happens? The gimmick doesn't work. So Jaden Daniels, the second go around this year, the gimmick might not work so much. Kind of like Hideo Nomo.
Talk.
You remember Hideo Nomo's rookie season? Nobody could hit him.
Oh man, I went to
Do you
games,
remember?
man.
First
18
no hitter in Colorado.
18 strikeouts.
Insane. And
Yeah,
then
I think I was at the 18 strikeout game.
they
I'm
start to
curious,
figure out the
Eddie Money, can you pull up the Redskins draft class and notable free agents? Because they were like second or third in most cap space.
They had a ton of money. The only thing you can do is improve the roster. That's the only with all that money. Did they do it? Can they do it? Will they perform on the field? Injuries happen. Yada yada yada. Your quarterback is coming off an NFC title game that he had no business being in when the season started. Because not even the biggest fucking Redskins fan with the fucking pig nose and the whole fucking nine would have predicted that team would have won 7 games, yet alone the games that they won, yet alone getting to an NFC title game, which they were completely fucking manhandled in. Okay.
Virtual reality, man. Virtual reality.
Completely manhandled. So imagine they didn't even expect it. Now you're going into the season with all these expectations. We got to the NFC title game. What's the next step after the NFC title game? It's to win that fucking NFC title game. Those are the expectations on a second-year quarterback. Okay, I can't do it. I cannot do it.
Whooped up on the Detroit Lions. They didn't just go ahead.
Their free agent signings include Jeremy Nichols, running back, Will Harris, safety, Javon Kinlaw, D tackle, re-signed Bobby Wagner, Zach Ertz, Josh Bates, and Mariota.
Okay, what about their draft?
They got their tackle from Oregon, Josh Conley.
Conley, yes, very good.
They got a corner, Trey Amos.
Ole Miss,
pick.
very good.
Ole Miss.
Yep.
They got their wide receiver, Jalen Lane from Virginia Tech.
Okay.
They got a linebacker Kane Medrano from. It's not popping up. And then they got a running back Jacoy Krosky Merritt.
I'm not a fan, Ed. I'm just letting you know.
No,
be
I
surprised.
don't love the draft class.
Don't be
Kane
surprised.
Medrano was from UCLA, and the running back was from Arizona.
And they won some games there. They won that game early, which Daniels was phenomenal on that Monday night. Well, besides the Chicago game, they won a game where he played out of his mind on Monday night the road in Cincinnati early in the year. I think it was like week 3 or 4, where he was out of his mind.
Mm-hmm.
Will he be able to play like that this year? He played out of his mind. He was a no-doubter offensive rookie of the year. There was no doubt about it. Can he repeat that with all of the pressure of an NFC title game? We saw CJ Stroud take a huge step back last year. They made the playoffs, yes. He wasn't even close to the player we saw his rookie season.
Not even close.
Not even close.
Close.
So, for me, that's what I'm saying. I believe that the Reds because it makes it more spicy. We'll get more views for and I'll get at something stupid that I'm a racist or whatever. But it doesn't matter to me. In my opinion, I don't think that he will be able to sustain that in year 2. I think he's going to get a rude awakening in year 2.
Okay. Duly noted. Tag that shit, Eddie Money. Over under on Houston Texans. Curious.
Is it
8.5?
9.5? It's got to be like 9.5.
9.5. Unders favored -130.
They're assuming the Jags are better. They're assuming the Colts are better. They're that's what they're assuming there, right? That the Jags and the Colts are going to be better. Can they be better? Who knows? You know how I feel about Trevor Lawrence. I think he's hot garbage. He's fucking hot ass. So I don't think so. I think their numbers
Colts and
right.
Jags are at 7.5 wins.
Yeah, I'd take the Colts over before I take the Jags over, but I think C.J. Stroud will have a bounce back year this year. He'll get back to his rookie form. He's going to.
They got him another receiver, right? They got him another receiver in the first or second round, I believe.
They need to find motherfuckers that can block for that man.
Yeah.
That's what they need.
He was that penguin in that fucking cartoon. He was fucking shuffling his feet, fucking happy feet. He had the fucking happy feet. So
he was uncomfortable in the pocket all year long. Year long.
For sure.
So and we'll as we get closer to the season, when those rosters are done, maybe in July, we'll go through everybody's schedule and we'll do the wins, losses, or whatever. But for me, I still think Washington will be a 7-win team this year. It wouldn't shock me. And we don't know who they're playing yet, but there's a lot of teams. Atlanta's going to be a lot better. Do they play Atlanta? Where they lined up? There's a lot of teams, and then Dallas was a garbage ass team last year. They didn't have a quarterback. Their defense, Micah wasn't playing. Like they were a bad team. Are they going to be that bad this year? I don't think so. If they're fully healthy, I don't believe they are. The Giants, I think they're going to be a lot better this year. They beat the crap out of the Giants, I believe. They won that game against the Bears. Probably not getting that game next year. Like there's just games they won this year. It's not going to be that easy. It's easy to get hit by a rookie that you don't expect to do this, and that. The Bengals showed you early in the year against them. So we'll see.
Last thing before we leave the NFC East, and maybe I think we want to talk some football, the beautiful game, before we get out. But Cam Scatterboo with the Giants, does his game translate? Does he average 15 carries next year?
I think for me, he's going to prove to them that he can play in the NFL and his toughness to go along with that defense. And you have your quarterback is Russell Wilson, an older player, right? And we've always seen that Russ needs to rely a lot on the run. You saw it in that shithole Seattle, where
the Emerald City, aka the shithole.
The shithole Emerald City up north in the Northwest. But so you have backs, right? The kid, what is it? Tyrone Jones, or what's his name? The back they had last year.
Tracy.
There you go. Tracy. He played good. Adding Cam to that roster, a tough physical runner who can catch the ball, super smart player. I think he's going to get his chances, and he's going to prove to everyone that he's an NFL running back. Whether maybe it's not a 20 carry guy, maybe it's not 15, but 10, 8 to 10 to 12. I think he's going to make his mark, and his physicality, which should be a very physical team next year with that defense, I think is going to help the Giants get to 9 or 10 wins and possibly a playoff spot.
I ask only because I do. They love their white players. You think of listen, New York. They do. They love Phil McConkey, right? They love Mark Bavaro, Phil Simms. You can go on and on.
I've never heard of those first two names.
Yeah, they won Super Bowls when the Giants were really good.
That's why. That was a long time ago.
But even the kid, the Paisan, I forget his name.
DeVito.
DeVito.
DeVito. Can you imagine? And I think this might be, I ask you because I do agree with you. I think he could be the storyline of the NFL next year. If Cam Scatterboo has even half of the highlights or half of the impact, because he was Arizona State, right? He was their identity. He was everything. And I love the coach. That coach was freaking incredible. And I hope he finds another Cam Scatterboo. But if Cam Scatterboo has even a quarter of impact, he will be the king of New York. He will be, doing every interview, Sunday morning with Howie Long. And I could see, I'm looking and I could see the future and him just being, a Derek Jeter type, Aaron Judge type impact player in New York, because obviously the media is so huge, and white running back. I mean, Jason Sehorn in New York. They love Jason Sehorn. I'm just saying, I think that's going to be a storyline next year.
You got to give him a chance. And once he gets on the field in preseason, when you see him out in training camp, they're going to see how tough he is.
Mm-hmm.
And how smart of a football player that kid is. And I think they got to steal. I think we can look in 2 years and say they got to steal, because he can be, although not a fullback, he can be a Mike Allstott type of runner, with obviously more speed, more of a running back style.
And he can catch the ball. He could throw the ball.
He can catch the ball. He can throw the ball. He's a Swiss Army knife.
Yeah.
He's a Swiss Army knife. And I think it gives you a big, strong back, like a white Marshawn Lynch type guy.
Yeah.
I mean, if you get a white Marshawn Lynch out of Cam, I mean, with Russ cooking back there, you might not need Russ to cook so much. And you got a good defense, which I believe is going to be a really, really good defense. I really believe that in the G-Men.
Two great defensive men. Oh, my God.
Yeah. And I think he's going to be there. And if he's there for long enough, he'll be able to take pressure off of the next quarterback, which should be Jackson Dart.
Yep.
So I like Cam. I'm with you, Eddie. I think he can do it all. And once he gets out there and these guys see at training camp, in OTAs, whatever, when they see him out there and they see how tough he is, they're going to know he's a football player. That's what he is.
He's a dog.
He's a dog, man. He is a dog. Do we want to talk? I saw something, Rafa, real quick. Let's move on. Club World Cup.
That's his summer. The Club World Cup.
First annual.
It's in the United States. It's going to be fucking lit. Dude,
because do we get any games in LA?
We get games. We got games. I don't know if Eddie Money wants to pull it up, but we got games. We're gonna get games here. There's games in Vegas. Dallas, I'm sure, is hosting. The G-Men should host. Miami's got some games, I think, as well. You're in for a treat, right? And for people who don't watch soccer, I mean, you're gonna see the buzz, and you'll see the stadiums will be crazy packed. And it's a little bit different than the World Cup, obviously, because when you get the friendlies during the summer, you get the Real Madrids that come in, and the AC Milan and Barca, obviously, and those clubs, Chelsea and Dortmund and Bayern. That Bayern doesn't come out too much, but
Bundesliga.
When you get those teams that come out, along with the Mexican teams and a couple of the MLS teams. And I think there might be a Brazilian team and an Argentina team as well. You're going to see just a whole different fucking fan base. Like, it's going to be insane. It's going to be wild. Their hotels, wherever they're at, they're going to be fucking jam-packed. I mean, it's going to be insane.
But
Rob, go ahead. I was just going to talk about the schedule.
Real quick. Let me say this. Could this possibly be better football than the World Cup? I know these guys play different for their country. I know it's the ultimate
It's
prize.
not the same.
Okay, pride-wise. But these clubs, when they when they play for their country in whatever the FIFA World Cup or whatever, these guys are not together every day. These club teams now, though, Rafa, practice and have arguably more chemistry because they're together more. Is it possible that we see better football because these guys actually play together more? It's just like the Olympics. When you put the Americans together, in basketball or whatever, these guys play with each other for a month. They're not going to have the chemistry. And in soccer or football, chemistry is almost everything, is it not?
Oh, 100%. And we're going to see better games.
That's what I'm saying.
We're going to see better games. We're going to see more scoring. A lot of the World Cup, you see 1-0, 1-1. We're going to get 3-2 games. We're going to get 2-2 games. I think we're going to get great games. I think you're going to get phenomenal football this summer. I think it's going to be nothing like we've seen before.
Oh, man, I'm so fired up about it.
Because even though we have the Champions League for all the European teams and for all the European countries, right, that send teams and get teams to the Champions League, you're on a world stage this time. And although the Champions League, it's on the world stage, there is no doubt about it. But now you're getting smaller teams that we don't usually see play these powerhouses.
That's what I'm saying. Could we see a Chivas against Real Madrid?
We're gonna see it, and for a lot of these people,
wild.
You get a lot of these people that believe that, for example, America can hold their own against Real Madrid. If Real Madrid brings a full roster, and we'll have to see because a lot of guys might take vacation or whatever.
Yeah.
If we see a full roster of Barcelona, Real Madrid, PSG, Liverpool, Dortmund, Bayern, if you get a full roster of those guys playing against these guys, I'm going to tell you who's the only team that's going to be able to compete. The Brazilian and the Argentinian squads, and that's it. The other teams, if Monterrey's in or America or Chivas or Pumas or any of those teams, believe and as good as Inter Miami plays in the MLS.
I was going to ask,
when you
do they make this tournament?
Yeah,
yes.
Eddie Money. So what do you have on
schedule,
here, Eddie Money?
I got the whole schedule leading up to like when people advance.
Yes.
So let's see what we got.
All right, so it starts on the 14th of June, so coming up soon, and they play in Hard Rock in Miami.
So Inter Miami against a Saudi Arabian team, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm not mistaken.
LA's games will be held at the Rose Bowl.
Yes.
Games in New York, New Jersey will be held at MetLife. I'm surprised because MetLife is notorious for ACL injuries.
Yeah.
Okay, so look at so right out the gate, you have Bayern playing against Auckland, right? Auckland City, I believe that's the New Zealand team. So that game, if Bayern has a full roster, that game should be 5-0, 6-0. Easy work, right? And then you get a real game in PSG and Atletico Madrid.
Yeah, that's a tough round.
So then you have FC Porto from Portugal facing Palmeiras, which I believe is the Brazilian team. That game is going to be a phenomenal game. That game right there is going to be fucking one to watch, right? And then you have the Sounders and Botafogo, which is a shit fucking game. You have Chelsea. Chelsea's going to play either LAFC or America. We'll see how that goes. The next game that's going to be fucking insane is going to be Boca against Benfica. That game, because Benfica holds their own in Europe. And so for them and Boca, we know people, if you don't watch soccer, Boca Juniors is probably one of the 4 or 5 biggest clubs in the world. Okay. Behind obviously Barcelona, Atletico Madrid, Manchester United, right? Like Boca's right there. Like those fucking fans. And that game is, of course, it's in Miami. Shocker. You're going to have people from Argentina travel to Miami to watch them play.
Better have better security.
That game is going to be insane. And I wouldn't be shocked if Boca wins that game. Then you have another Brazilian team in Flamengo playing there, playing that team from Tunis. So we'll see what's there. And then what else you got? So here you have Dortmund. That's Dortmund. That's going to be another game against a Brazilian team, which is going to be phenomenal. You have River from Argentina. That should be a shit show. And then
Monterrey.
you have Inter Milan against Monterrey. If
Ah.
Inter Milan is a full roster, Monterrey, good night, don't even show up.
At the Rose Bowl.
At the Rose Bowl. That's going to be wild. That's going to be wild. You're going to have all the Monterrey fans in there. That's going to be a game that we should probably go watch, to be honest with you, because
Oh,
and if Inter wins this Champions League, and then they can try and win this thing, oh man. Man. Yeah, so then you have, by the way, Real Madrid against Al Hilal, that Saudi Arabian stacked roster. That's going to be a good one as well. But then you have Pachuca against Salzburg. Pachuca's in for a rude awakening. Okay. Inter Miami, FC Porto. So yeah, I don't see Barcelona. So Barcelona's not in this thing, huh?
No, I didn't see him.
Wow, that's brutal.
Too big for their britches.
Well, you
Get
have
another good game in LA.
You have two Spanish teams already. You have two Spanish teams in Atletico.
Do you know how they were decided? Like what teams were chosen?
You know what? I think they took. I think they went through qualification. I think they took the top two because from England, I think we only have Chelsea, right?
Oh, yeah, Man City.
Yeah,
and Man City. And then from Germany, you have the two studs in Bayern and Dortmund. I think everyone's in for a treat in this tournament. I think once we get out all the little turds out, and I think once we get them all kind of, and we get
past
down
the group stage.
Oh, once we get past the group stage, I mean the round of 16. Oh, the round of 16, the quarterfinal. Where do those quarterfinals play?
They are all in New York, I believe.
So you have, I think the finals in Miami, if I'm not mistaken. If you go
no, it's in MetLife.
Okay, so New York.
Stupid.
You got Atlanta and Orlando, so they're all basically on the East Coast. So
none of them in LA, surprisingly.
Yeah, so we're done in LA after that.
Can LAFC get a star before this kicks off? Like,
well, they still have to qualify over America, so we'll see how that goes.
Okay.
And I don't think LAFC can beat America head to head, but we'll see how that goes. And I'll tell you why they did on the East Coast, because they want their fans to travel. The European teams, it makes sense. If you have if you're looking at it, and we can look at it, and there's no doubt in my mind that if we look at what it is, the four best teams, you probably say Inter, Real Madrid, Bayern, and Dortmund might be the four best teams in this thing. They're all from Europe. It's easier for their fans to fly in, which is smart on whoever set this tournament up.
Yeah.
To have the final, basically 2 rounds on the East Coast. But I think
you'll have people hopping borders for this fucking tournament.
Dude, 100% you will have people hopping borders for this motherfucker.
We got to go to this, man. We got to go to this.
It's going to be phenomenal.
Maybe we do a giveaway where you win a ticket. If you're from LA, you go with the 2 nobodies.
Oh yeah, but it's got to be the Inter match.
Yeah.
Got to see quality. We got to see quality. But speaking of Inter, how good was that game yesterday?
Oh my God. I haven't watched a soccer match in I don't know how many years. And the one I tuned into is fucking nuts.
Bro, it's insane. The first game was good. Yesterday was greater. I mean, the only thing that could have been better was that game to end in penalties.
Yeah.
The only thing that could have been better was me at Ojos Locos watching that fucking game. Other than but no,
that place was probably going crazy. At noon.
We're in for a treat. You have any predictions? Any thoughts on this?
I think Inter wins the final. I think Inter wins the final. I think they can beat PSG. Although PSG's played, I mean, Mbappe leaves, Messi leaves, Neymar leaves, and they're in the final.
Mm-hmm.
Something they had been, built rosters built to get there, and because they're so dominant in the French league, and they built a roster to win the Champions League, and they never could. They couldn't even get to the fucking final, and here they are, with a not great roster, but a team full of chemistry, which has been great all year long in the Champions League, in their own league. Great, but Inter, I mean, after that Barcelona win, they showed you they can score, and they scored when needed, as needed. They looked phenomenal. It was to me is very impressive what Inter did. PSG what they did against Arsenal, and we talked about Arteta earlier, believing that his team was the best team in Champions League. He's got to be out of his fucking mind. But they played well, but Inter's route, beating Barcelona and putting up 6 goals against Barca. Barca's defense isn't great, but you beat them at home. On the road, you could have won that game up 2-0. I think it's Inter's cup to lift.
In my next life, I want to be a European football coach. I want to be 6'1", handsome, Richard Mille with some kind of couture black jacket on, and just do this constantly after every score. I feel like I hate.
That's a dream.
I'm a heterosexual man. But when I look on the sidelines of a Premier League game and I see the coach and he just looks like he stepped out of a GQ magazine with a $400,000 watch on, and all these superstars look to him like he's God, it's sort of badass.
And then it's in slow motion. And they're like,
yes,
yeah, no, they're
the Richard Mille, like, I'm so rich.
Yeah, no, their sideline presence by those managers in all those leagues is impressive.
And the seats they sit in, the race, what are they called?
Oh, dude, they're like cushioned and they're beautiful, aren't they?
Yeah, the fucking seats they sit in. It's like, are you fucking kidding me? I feel like Europe is 2 years ahead of us on everything with pro sports, with the signing, the free agency. Now this club World Cup, they're just so willing to do anything and everything. Like, fuck it. Let's whatever to grow and it's already the biggest sport in the world, but they're just not bound by the rules of a stringent NBA and NFL. Like this, it's just so badass. Yeah, right.
You have to remember though, Eddie.
It's so nuts.
The rosters are bigger. Okay, so the rosters are bigger and they have more depth, and they have 3 or 4 reserve teams and so on. So, and they play a ton. They play a ton. They play in 3 different cups a year. They play in their league, and then they play in another 2 cups. So inside their league and all that. So it's a whole different. It's
wild. It's wild.
It's wild. They know how to do it, and they keep their sport going basically from the end of August until the middle of May. Sometimes the end of May. So they basically run from August until the end of May, and they're off June and July, where they'll send out Manchester United will come for whatever exhibition games or whatever.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's basically as year round as you can get.
I got a quick question because Eddie was talking about like the presence that managers have on the sideline in a nice dress suit. I had this debate downstairs while watching the last Laker game. We were saying, should coaches go back to being in suit and ties on the sideline or stick with their quarter zips?
Yes, suit and tie. Suit and tie.
I agree. Pat Riley. So you guys know my dad. My dad was a high school basketball coach. He rocked the corduroy. Rafa, listen. I get the drip from my dad. He would rock the tan corduroy sports coat with the brown patch on the elbow. And I don't know if you remember that shit.
I remember.
But that shit, and that was a high school basketball game. I love that shit. I love when Landry from the Cowboys would rock the fedora and the suit.
See, I'm okay with the NFL not doing that, right? Because you're on the field. There's grass. You're on an actual playing field. But when you're on an NBA court, I think you should dress as nice as the people who dress courtside should. I don't want to see you in Air Force Ones coaching a game because you're not playing.
I think it also adds some elegance to the game and aura.
Of course.
I was just say, if you don't want to do it for regular season, I feel like it should be at least enforced for playoffs.
And if you look now, all these NBA teams have like 7 or 8 dudes, and they're all in the same fucking quarter zip.
They're all in the same quarter zip or in the same sweater with the same fucking black Nike Air Force Ones or
It's like a
white
travel
Nike
team.
Air Force Ones
It's
or
so
whatever.
bad.
I understand
so
in the NFL
bad.
and baseball, you're on an actual field. But here you're on a court where everyone around the court, everyone 4 feet from the court is paying $10,000. Now, we know that the people who dress there don't usually dress elegant, but before 25, 30 years ago, you did. And so
Yeah, you
I
did.
believe, for me, NBA head coaches should always wear a suit. And as college coaches, I think so too. I hated Jim what's his name? Huggins from West Virginia, because he would wear that fucking quarter zip. West Virginia. But then you see Jay Wright from fucking Villanova, who just wore the most expensive suits.
Yeah.
Period. Like he looked like a fucking mob boss in Philadelphia coaching Villanova.
Leading out as shooters.
Of course.
Jay Wright, I've been saying it for fucking 3-4 years, should be the head coach of the UNC Tar Heels. I don't know if he'll ever come back, but to me, I look at him and I'm like, that should be the head coach of the fucking Tar Heels. To me.
Very elegant man.
Yeah.
Mhm. That was my last thing to end it on, though.
Make a clip of that, man. Adam Silver, you've asked more from your players, right? And now it's the fucking fits are ridiculous. You've asked, but dude, Pat Riley, come on, man. John Daly,
Phil Jackson.
Even Phil Jackson, man.
with the
Was
suspenders,
LaFro?
with those fucking
Phil.
weird.
Phil.
He would have it. Phil
Big
Jackson shoulders with 0 trapezoids. You could fucking put coffee. He was like a coffee table of fucking shoulders. Like the shoulders were. It was neck and fucking 2 foot just shoulders. But
Yeah.
Phil in the suspenders. Come
Oh, yeah.
on, man.
Need
Bring
to
that
bring it
shit
back. Adds to
back.
the game.
Great call, Eddie Money. Great call.
Just call it how I see it.
Well, guys, that's 2 hours. We did our thing today. Had a ton of fun. Any last words, Eddie Money?
No, man. Just
Anything-
keep enjoying these playoffs, all these sports going on. You can wake up at 12, turn the TV on, watch something, watch a little baseball, watch a baseball till you get to the NBA. Watch that until like 9 o'clock at night.
Yeah, we didn't talk any
There's-
baseball. I want to talk to Audrey, but we'll let that fucking shit pass. I agree. Anything big other than playoffs? Anything big this weekend? Any golf? The U.S. Open's what next? Not this week, but next week.
I think it's the U.S. Open or the PGA Championship. One of the
PGA Championship already happened, I believe. So I think definitely
No.
US Open.
PGA Champion
sure?
is not. Yep. Masters is the
shit.
first major.
I thought. Okay, you're right.
I think the
Yeah.
PGA Championship starts on the 15th.
I thought the
believe.
Sawgrass, but you're right. That was something else.
Yeah, but yeah, that's coming up, and PGA Championship next weekend.
Okay,
And
it's next weekend.
what's his name got an exception to play from Live. One of the guys from Live. But yeah, PGA Championship next weekend, and then the U.S. Open the middle of June.
All right,
Whole lot of
guys.
sports to look forward to, man.
Love you guys. We are out. I got to take off. Thanks for everyone. Thanks, Rick. Thanks for everyone who contributed. And we'll see you next week, man.
We'll see you next week for sure.
Peace.
Okay. I got